My ears are ringing. Okay, as soon as I started this reading, my ears have been ringing. I do see that whoever I'm speaking to today, you are very sensitive to energy. Now, you are coming up as the High Priestess, clarified by the Hierophant. This is such a powerful duo, okay? You are somebody that has a lot of spiritual knowledge, okay? You're somebody that is connected to the Akashic record. You're somebody that you are on a different level, okay? You're somebody that you may also be very religious, but I'm getting that you're somebody that is very sensitive to energy, very open to energy, definitely an empath, but you also have a lot of spiritual gifts. Um, you seem to be somebody that you're gifted in all different areas of life, right? So you may notice that you tend to kind of channel your energy through, I just seen 111, through art, through creativity, right? You are somebody that I'm just getting a lot of depth to you. Like, I'm getting that you have such a big personality, and you're so good at all these different things that you do. You're a multi-talented person with the Queen of Cups here as well. You're somebody that you're very open, okay? So you have a very inviting energy. Now here's the thing, you being this sensitive to energy, and as I mentioned, my ears are literally ringing, right? They definitely were ringing as soon as I started to pull these cards, and it, especially my left ear. So I'm getting that you tend to kind of tune into different frequencies, and I'm getting that it is very easy for you to kind of, if you're hanging around the wrong people, it's easy for you to lower your energy to their frequency, if that makes sense, right? Again, because you are somebody that you tend to adapt to energy, okay? You're somebody that you don't understand how much you actually take on energy. And you being an empath and you having such an open heart, and you being somebody that is so gifted and multi-talented, you have to protect your energy. I do think that you haven't been looking yourself, you haven't been feeling yourself. You have absorbed a lot of negativity. And again, if you're not protecting and locking your energy, you're somebody that will absorb the energy in a room. So you have to be very careful. If you're not locking your energy, you have to be very careful with where you're going. I just need 333. You may also notice that you become very sensitive to places with very dark energy. So, for example, say you have to visit like the hospital. You may notice that you feel sick, okay? You may notice that you maybe feel a little bit dizzy, or there's just this energy where you don't feel right. Because again, you tend to absorb energy being an empath, right? You're somebody that it is crucial for you to stay in your own energy. It is crucial for you to protect this energy that you embody. So I do think, and I keep getting the word congested. I'm getting that like your third eye, your energy is congested with other people's energy at the moment. And whoever I'm picking up on, I'm getting that you have, it's like you're around an environment or a person that is leaking like toxicity into your life, right? And I'm getting that they have like a green, slimy aura. Like I'm picturing their aura, and it feels very slimy, very green, right? So this, and it's like a very dark green. So this signified the spirit of envy, the spirit of jealousy. Okay. I'm also getting that this person here, it's like there's something. You know what? I've been picking up on smells a lot. Okay, so I'm somebody that, like, does readings all the time, but lately, like, the smells have really been coming through, and right now I'm smelling like almost like a rotten fruit. Okay, like a very like sweet rotten fruit smell. So I'm getting that they could smell like that, but what I'm getting here is this person, it's like the things around them, they turn things, like things go rotten around them, right? It's like their relationship tend to kind of go rotten. Maybe there's even like this energy of them not just smelling very rotten, but them kind of. I'm just getting that they like harbor that energy, right? Like this rotten energy, and I'm getting that their energy is leaking onto you again because you have been so open-hearted to this person. And again, you're somebody that is so kind and caring, and you're somebody that you're not like them, right? This is somebody that is trying to latch onto you. So I'm getting that, like, lately you have not been feeling yourself. Lately, you've been looking different. You've been feeling different. I'm getting that you've been feeling very heavy. So here's the thing, right? This energy that you embody is no joke. It is no joke. Like, this is something that is very sacred. You are somebody that is destined to go far. But you need to have very strong boundaries, right? Your energy is magic. You're somebody that you may notice that you're a master manifester. You may notice that you're very lucky, right? You may notice that you are chosen. You may notice, like, things just tend to work out for you when you are in your own energy, right? When you are kind of, nothing is really influencing your energy, right? Your energy is magic. It can literally bring anything to life. That's why, no matter what you're touching, you're turning it to gold. So again, like, as I mentioned before, you seem to be very talented. And I'm getting that, like, for example, say that you're not an artist, right? But you feel like doing some art. You tend to just make, like, the best artwork ever, right? You just have this talent to you. And it is because your energy is literal magic, right? You're somebody that you don't understand how deep you are, how soulful you are. You have no idea, like, obviously, you do know, but I feel like you don't know how valuable that energy is, right? Like, I'm getting that you're just somebody that had so much soul and depth, and you have all of these ideas, and you have this, like, ambition, and you're able to turn your ideas into reality. This is like a really powerful energy, like, you really have to understand. So this is why you don't want it to be leaking out. This is why you don't want to kind of walk into a shopping center and, absorb the energy in the shopping center. Now, this is not going to resonate for everyone, obviously, but let me tell you one sign, that if this is for you, you will experience, right? So, whoever I'm picking up on, you may identify as an introvert. Like, you may identify as somebody that, you kind of would prefer to be alone, right? you may identify as somebody that, it's like, you may want to be not like a team player type of energy. It's like you want to be alone. You're somebody that works better on your own. You're somebody that you may avoid social situations, right? You're somebody that, again, you may identify as the introvert, right? So again, you may show signs of being an introvert. But the thing in here is what's going on is you go out, right, and you come home and you need some time to just like be on your own, right? You may notice that you don't care if you're like just staring at a wall. You just need some time to be alone. That is a massive sign that this reading is for you, right? Because what's actually happening on a spiritual level is you've gone to a social event, or you've caught up with a friend, and now you're feeling their energy, right? And I just seen 11:11. You have absorbed the energy. Like, you go outside, you go to a social event, you have absorbed the energy of other people. So now you're not feeling yourself. This is why you really need that alone time to get back to yourself. You may also notice that after, you're going out, you're going to social event, you're even meeting up with a friend, right? Depending on how sensitive you are to energy, you may feel very uncomfortable just like meeting up with a friend, going out with a family member. And that's because you literally absorb so much energy when you go out, okay? You are an empath, and you have to understand that your channels are open if you do not protect them and shut them, right? So what happens is when you're going out, you're absorbing other people's energy, especially the low vibrational, like the anxiety, sadness, right? Guilt, right? So you may wonder why you're feeling a certain type of way. I just seen 12:22 on the timer. And it's because you are absorbing other people's energy. So it is very important for you to, again, protect your energy. So before you want to go, I wrote a list of things that you can do so I don't forget anything. But first thing I want to mention is cloaking your energy. Now this could be as simple as, envisioning, a cloak over your aura, or it could even be like a thing where, you're envisioning mirrors wrapped around you. So when you're going out, you are, the mirror to kind of also make sure that you're putting your intention. Okay, do this in meditation, by the way. So envision mirrors around you and put the intentions of, any negative energy, evil eye, spell work, evil intention will reflect back to the sender, and you are protected, right? You also want to, okay, this is a big one, right? And I just named 1331, which I will bring up. So you may not want to kind of conversate with people. You want to really feel people's energy, okay? And if they feel dark, if they feel like off, right? If they feel like there's something about them, you don't want to, if you don't have to conversate with them, don't, right? But don't look them in the eye, right? And I'm not sure if I've ever brought this up before, but you want to be very careful with who you are looking in the eye. If somebody has a dark aura, a dark energy, if they have like a dark vibration, and then you look them in the eye, you will notice like the immediate dread that you feel. Also, the eye, like obviously absorb energy. Now, I like literally go as far as to like not look certain content created in the eye. So when I'm scrolling TikTok, sometimes I'll come across like an energy, a person that I just can't look them in the eye. And even though it's on social media, like, you do have to be very careful. Now also, if you have ever had the feeling of not being able to look somebody in the eye, so you may have thought, oh, like maybe you were nervous, okay, you couldn't look this person in the eye. Especially if it's something where it's like you can look everyone else in the eye but not them. Yeah, that person had very dark energy and dark intentions, okay? So just to keep that in mind. Okay, yeah, so you want to also protect your back, right? When you're out in public, your back absorbs the most energy. So again, you want to kind of envision either a mirror, so it's protected, or just intend that your back is now covered. Okay, nobody can latch onto your energy through your back, nobody can send you evil eye through your back, right? And okay, so when you go home as well, you want to wash your hands. Okay, wash your hands with salt, Arginine 1616. You may feel a natural urge to do this, especially if people are very touchy with you. You want to really go wash your hands, okay? Now, also, if you feel like you've been affected by evil eye, you may want to wash your eyes, okay? Just with water, okay? But you may want to actually wash your eyes, okay? Or if you have accidentally looked somebody in the eye and you feel dread after, wash your eyes. Just put water on them. Trust me. But yeah, you need to actually protect your energy, because right now you've been absorbing all these other people's energy, and because you're so sensitive to energy, you have to be very careful. I'm just going to say this into the universe right now. I intend that this reading reaches the right people, because here's the thing, you need to know this, okay? You need to be very careful with, if you're not cloaking your energy, if you're not protecting your energy, and you're somebody with this energy of being an empath, also having a very open energy. What I mean by that is people feel comfortable just approaching you, right? You have this open, happy energy where people just feel comfortable approaching you. You need to really make sure that you have strong boundaries. Make sure you are protecting your energy. Did I mention black obsidian? Yeah, you could carry black obsidian with you. Black obsidian will protect you from these energies, right? It also will kind of lock your energy for you. But you really, really need to understand that when you're an empath, when you're somebody that's sensitive to energy, Arginine 1818, you also need to know how to protect it. You also need to know how to lock it, okay? Utilize it. You also have to be very aware of energy vampires and people that, they want to kind of steal your life for. That's not a joke, okay? Because here's the thing, you can absorb such negative energy, especially if you're going to maybe you're a nurse or something, and you're constantly around people that are sick and stuff. You really need to make sure that you're protecting your energy, because if you don't have protection and you absorb energy, you could also absorb negative energy, sick energy, right? So yeah, there is this energy here where you really need to lock your energy. You need to protect yourself, right? You need to be really clearing your energy a lot, especially if you're around people that are very negative, or say you got bad news, or there was a death or something. Okay, first thing you need to do is clear the energy, right? Say that you go to visit somebody in hospital, okay? You want to clear the energy of yourself and your house when you come home. This could just look lighting some sage, Palo Santo, whatever, right? Whatever you do. Same thing with if you have to go to like a graveyard or something, you really want to clear the energy because you do absorb energy, right? You also need to be very conscious with who you're allowing in your energy. You need people that bring you peace, and it's nothing but peace. And you're somebody that you tend to really take on other people's energy. But I'm also getting that you're somebody that you're very loyal and you're very kind of highly reactive for the people that you love, right? That's not a bad thing. But I'm getting that a lot of people come to you with issues. A lot of people come to you with problems. And it's because you absorb that negative energy. You absorb it. So it's like they come to you, they're like, oh my gosh, this happened to me. And then you're absorbing the negative energy. Okay? So, you do have to understand that it's crucial for you to kind of protect your energy, especially if you have people. I'm getting whoever I'm speaking to, like you're somebody that gives advice, or you're somebody that maybe you do that for a living. Maybe you're like a therapist, or maybe you're like a doctor, or you do something like that, like you give advice or something, and you have a lot of people kind of coming to you with problems, right? Like I'm getting that you kind of take on other people's issues every single day. And again, it is very crucial that, you're locking your energy. Now, how you can lock your energy. What's a very quick way? There is something you can do, which is more Reiki based. If you guys want a video on it, let me know. But the quick way to do it is to get into a meditation and just envision. Also, make sure that you're touching your third eye and your stomach, right? At the same time, and envision like your energy being locked, okay? Nipping up your energy, right? Like you would nip up a jumper. Do that, and before you go to like an event or something like that, make sure that you are locking your energy. Because again, I do see that you may also notice that after you go to maybe big events or big social gatherings, or just a place where there's so many people and you absorb a lot of energy, whether you know it or not, something very significant happened like a few days after. For some of you, something bad could happen, right? Or it's like something very chaotic. It's almost like you feel like a new person. It's just because you're absorbing so many different energies, right? You need to be very careful with who your partner is in this lifetime, whoever I'm speaking to today. I do think that you can't just be with anyone. I do think that you're the type of person, you can't just be with anyone, you can't just entertain anyone, you can't just be friends with anyone, right? You have a very defined purpose in this lifetime, and you need somebody by your side that protects you and supports you and also understands you, right? I do see that you being around the wrong crowd, or you being with the wrong person, can actually change the course of your destiny. Because again, you absorb the people's energy so much, right? You may notice, for example, say you get a new friend group in your life, right? And then all of a sudden, like you kind of are adapting to this friend group. Now, that is why you need to be very careful with who you're choosing to be around. Because, people being around you is a blessing for them. As I mentioned, you have magical energy. You're somebody that, you pour into people that you love. Like, you really do take care of people that you love. People that you love are very blessed to have somebody like you in their life, okay? But the thing is, sometimes the people around you can actually act as a karmic, okay? Or they could kind of lower your energy, lower your vibration. Again, you may feel like you need some time to recoup, okay? Kind of bring back your energy, get back to yourself. And again, right, like, this is because you are absorbing energy. So you need to really have the right people around you. Now, here's the thing. The right people will come to you. The right people, it's going to feel divinely guided. It's going to feel like everything is lining up. You need to be very careful with who you allow into your sacral energy, okay? With the Emperor reversed, I do think that you may have had a history with somebody that took you for granted, used you, and really drained your life force. They also took you off path. But then I do see that you have broken away from this person, and now it's like your energy, your life force, your soul purpose has been restored. I do see that, again, you being very sensitive to energy. It is very crucial that you are trusting the people that you're around, okay? Your partner, especially. Because the thing is, you're somebody that is so telepathic. Like, you just know. Say your partner is, like, doing something. You know, right? And it's like you know immediately. Because, again, you're so connected. You're so tuned into this person. And that's just how you are. I'm picking up on a psychic, by the way. With the High Priestess card here and the Hierophant card here, yeah, there is no doubt that you are, like, you're a psychic, right? Like, you're actually a psychic. You're somebody that reads energy. You're somebody that cannot be lied to. You're somebody that, you're very sensitive to energy. You're very gifted when it comes to energy. You have a lot of spiritual knowledge. You are connected to the Akashic records, right? Like, you are one beyond your years, whoever I'm picking up on today. Strong Leo energy here. We have Libra energy here today. We have Scorpio energy here today. Pisces and Taurus. I'm also getting, here's the thing about you. The truth always comes out for you, right? One thing about you is you know the truth, okay? You can see through situations. So it's not just, when I say you know the truth, I'm not just mentioning, like, you know the truth when, say somebody's lying to you, you know the truth. I'm not just saying that. You know the truth of the situation. Whatever situation you're in, okay? You may notice that, for example, say somebody comes to you with a problem, which seems to happen a lot here. Don't know who I'm speaking to, but somebody comes to you with a problem. Say they're having, like, relationship drama, whatever. They're talking to you about their partner. And say that, they're like, oh, I think this person's acting this way because of this. You will notice that straight away. If you really reflect, you will notice that straight away you know exactly what the partner's doing. You know exactly what's going on in the situation. And you also know exactly what advice to give the person. This is why people come to you. Okay, this is why people come to you. And you may think, oh, I'm really good at giving advice. No, you're really psychic. You're really intuitive. You know the truth in a situation. So again, there's nobody that can lie to you. Even other situations that you're not connected to emotionally, like, you just know the truth, right? And this could be very intimidating to some people, obviously. And it can even be very intimidating to yourself, especially when it's like somebody's betraying you. This is why you have to be very careful with, who you're, like, surrounding yourself with, because it's like, if somebody is betraying you, you are going to know. And if they're lying to you about it, you also are going to know. But what happens it's like you have no proof. But the thing is about you is the proof always comes out. Like the truth for you always comes out. Like you just know the truth. Even if somebody's lying to your face, right? You can see the truth. Like you can see exactly what's going on. And even if they don't admit it, later on the truth will come out. So here's the thing about you, like, I'm also getting that people tend to get like really, it's like if they lie to you or they hurt you, they get really bad karma, right? Like I'm seeing that they become stuck, right? So if you've ever had anyone trying to, say they've tried to come in between a relationship, a connection, a friendship, or you have had somebody that's doing you dirty, like an ex that cheated on you, right? You will notice that they become stuck in life, okay? You will notice that no matter how much time has passed, if you look back at them, they're doing the same thing that they were doing when they were trying to mess with you. Okay? So I am getting this energy of you kind of, if somebody comes against you or tries to hurt you, I'm also getting spiritually attack you. It's like they become frozen. Okay? They cannot move in life. They cannot, you know? So you have to be very careful if you guys, like, you know, who... I always say this, like, you know, when you're doing spell work, if you're trying to do spell work, you don't know who you're doing spell work to. And whoever was trying to do spell work to you, they didn't understand either. Like, you are literally a divine being here. But also, it doesn't even have to be spell work. You do have a lot of people that tend to have their eyes on you. A lot of spiritual attack going on here. Just because... you know what it is, it's your spiritual gift, okay? So your spiritual gift, unfortunately, harbors a lot of, like, evil eye, negativity, jealousy, right? Also, you being this spiritually gifted, you also have other people that kind of want to bring you down, right? I'm getting something about Germany. Let me know if that resonates. But yeah, I do see that the people that are meant for you, you will know. It's 101 on my actual clock, right? You will know because there will be signs, right? They also will be very similar to you. Not mirroring you, but they'll just be very similar to you. You also will notice that you can trust them, right? Excuse me. You can trust them, right? And I'm getting as well, like, another thing is when you're around people that you cannot trust, you may notice that you don't want to speak to them. You may notice that, like, you have issues with the throat chakra. Like, you know, you feel like you can't speak or you don't want to speak. You may not respond. If you do, like, you may get your words jumbled, right? That's when people have bad intention for you. That's like your throat chakra tends to close off. And you don't want to speak around these people. When you don't want to speak around people, especially if you're a very confident person, if you ever are in a situation where you don't want to speak in front of these people, they're monitoring spirit. Okay, that's the biggest sign that they're monitoring spirit. If you don't want to speak, I feel like I'm speaking with my hands a lot tonight. The Italian side coming out, right? But if you don't want to speak in the presence of people, you do not want to be speaking to them, because whatever you're going to say will be used against you, whether they're talking to other people. Like, that's a sign of monitoring spirits, when your spirit feels like you cannot speak to people, or like you don't want to kind of speak. Or like, have you ever been in a situation where it's like you see somebody and you don't want to kind of, like, you avoid them? Because, again, that's your spirit speaking, right? If you dread seeing somebody and speaking to somebody, that is literally your spirit speaking. Especially whoever I'm speaking to. You're very intuitive. Very intuitive. So, yeah. the biggest message for today's reading is you need to protect your energy. You need to lock your energy. This reading's getting very long, so I'm going to end it here. But if this did resonate for you, please let me know in the comments. If you want me to do a part 2 or touch on anything, let me know in the comments. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in my next video.